Hi, boys and girls. Welcome back to Writer's Workshop. I am so proud of all the amazing stories that you have been writing. You are rocking and rolling as an author. So let's jump in today and learn more strategies that authors use to tell small moments from their life. So I'm wondering, do you boys and girls know what this fruit is right here? What is it? That's right, it's a watermelon. And I want you to tap your head if you've ever picked up a watermelon. If you've ever picked up a watermelon, then you know it is so heavy. You can't go very far with it because it's just so big. It's so heavy. And that's why we cut it up into small pieces to eat it. Now, just like that watermelon is so big and heavy, sometimes that can happen when we're brainstorming what stories to write. Sometimes when we're brainstorming a story, we pick a topic that is so big. It would be way too difficult to tell all about it because it's just so big, just like a watermelon is so big and heavy. So whenever we have a topic that is so big, that means whenever we're thinking of an idea to write about, if that idea is just so big, it covers so many things, we call that a watermelon topic. So something that authors do is when they brainstorm an idea, and that idea, that topic is a watermelon topic, meaning it's so big. They then try to zoom in and pick one tiny piece to write about. For example, when you've got a big watermelon, what's inside of it? The watermelon fruit and the seeds, right? The seeds, that's a small part. You could carry a seed around easily. You could walk miles and miles with a seed, but a watermelon's just too heavy. So just like our stories, if you think of an idea and it's just way too big, 3 pages, 5 pages, that's just not enough pages to tell all about your topic. It might be a watermelon topic. So ask yourself, is there something I can zoom in on? A little seed? So today, I want to teach you that instead of writing about big topics, writers write about teeny tiny seed stories, little stories inside of a topic. And the cool thing is that when you think of a big watermelon idea, you can zoom in on so many different tiny seed stories. So, I want to model for you writing about a seed story. Let's begin. Do you remember those mentor texts that we've read? You may have been reading Night of the Veggie Monster. And I'm sure those authors thought of many ideas that they could write about, but instead of picking a whole day to write about, George Clements picked the one moment where he was eating the vegetables at dinner with his family, and he did not like the vegetables, did he? But by the end of the book, he sure did. So this was a great example of how an author, instead of writing about his entire day, or instead of writing about every dinner he's ever had in his life, that would be a watermelon topic. To write about every dinner you've ever had in your life, that's so big. That's way too much to write about. So he took that watermelon topic of his day or of all the dinners he's had in his life, and he zoomed in on just one dinner that he had. He picked that tiny little seed story, and he wrote about the time that he had dinner with vegetables that he didn't really like, but he learned near the end, maybe it wasn't so bad. So I want you, friends, to help me write a story that's actually a seed story. So I'm thinking my watermelon topic could be an entire day from last school year. I'm thinking of a time that I was in the classroom teaching. So my watermelon topic would be that entire day, right? And that day is so big. Oh my goodness, I ate breakfast. I drove in my car. I got to school. I taught reading, math, science, social studies. I had recess duty. And then I had dismissal duty. And then I went home. And then I ate dinner. And then I watched my favorite TV show. And then I went to bed. Whew. Does that sound like a lot to fit into one story? It is. And I think that's a sign to me, just thinking of that whole day, that's a watermelon topic. It's too heavy, too much to write about for one story. I'm thinking, though, I could zoom in on one tiny seed moment. And you know what moment I'm thinking of? One time when I was teaching, do you want to know what crawled across the carpet? A lizard. Oh my goodness. So you know what? I think that would be a really good moment to zoom in on. I'm not going to start my story by saying that I woke up and ate breakfast, I think I'm going to zoom in on that seed moment, that tiny moment, and talk about how when I was in the middle of teaching in our morning meeting, and all of a sudden I saw something green crawl across the floor. So you friends know, when we are writing a story and we've thought of an idea, we think of an idea and we ask ourselves, is this a watermelon story? Is this too much to write about? Can I narrow it down? And we did. We said that it was too big for me to write about my whole entire day. But we decided to zoom in on that one small moment of when the lizard crawled across the carpet while I was teaching. So I've thought of my idea. Next, it's time for me to touch and tell. So I want you friends to get out your imaginary paper and follow along with me, and I'll tell you what happened on the first page. First, we were in our morning meeting when all of a sudden I saw something crawl across the carpet. It was small and green. What in the world is that? I thought. I can turn to the second page. Next, I saw some other students noticed it too. They jumped up and shouted. All of a sudden, one friend had shouted, "It's a lizard!" Turn the page. Last, I took a cup and I took my hand and I gently scooped the lizard into the cup. We then walked towards the door and put the lizard back outside to be in nature. The end. So I've touched and told my story, and then I'll get to sketch. And remember, when we sketch, it's a quick sketch. So this is what my first page might look like. Everything was going great with our morning meeting. Then all of a sudden, I saw something crawl across the floor. It was small and green. Now, when I get to the next page, am I going to write about how I ate lunch and then I had recess duty and then I taught science and social studies, and then on the last page will I write about how I went home and I watched my favorite TV show and I ate dinner and I finally went to bed? No, I'm zooming in on that one small moment, that one small seed story. I'm not telling about my whole day. That was a watermelon topic. I'm going to zoom in on that one small moment. Now, in another story, I could write about other parts of that day, but that'll be in different stories. So, I want you friends to practice thinking of a watermelon topic and zooming in on a seed idea. So let's walk through that thought process together. I want you to think of a time that you've played with a friend. Have you ever played with a friend before? Can you raise your hand if it's been many times that you've played with a friend before? All right, put your hand down. Now, if you were to write about all the times that you played with a friend, that would just be way too much to write about, right? Hopefully you've played with friends many times. That would be the longest story ever, to write about all the friends you played with, all the games that you played, how the game went. It'd be way too much. That's a watermelon topic. So let's see if we could find a seed idea from that watermelon topic of playing with a friend. Maybe to find a seed story, you could pick one specific time that you played with a friend and tell about one time, who you played with, where were you playing at, what were you playing. You're picking one specific moment of playing with a friend. So do you see, friends, how our watermelon topic was playing with friends, but then we zoomed in on one small seed story about a time that we played with a friend? That's what good authors do. They zoom in on those moments. So just like I did, I thought of a big watermelon topic and I thought of a day where I was teaching. But then I picked just one small seed story by zooming in at the time I was teaching during morning meeting, and a lizard crawled across the carpet. So I want you to think of an idea as well. And it might start as a watermelon topic. And you're going to ask yourself, is this a watermelon topic or a seed story? And if it's a watermelon topic, you're going to pick one small seed story, one small moment to zoom in on and tell about. So friends, your task today when you are writing is to pick a small seed story. So you can ask yourself, is this a big watermelon topic or is it a small seed story? I'm looking forward to reading your small seed story, and your teachers are too. All right, writers, writers go write.